Fun. Like I just said, we just came back off tour.
Yeah.
You know, with Fifth, and we still touring. Still. And I do my own tours too for people. Oh, yo.
You see,
I do my own tours. I did tours in Canada. I did a tour across the whole Germany and the Swiss Alps. And that's why I don't care about the hate. Cause I'm like, I got the possibility to do my own tour. Like something with Memphis Bleek. Memphis Bleek said to Nori, Yayo said Jay-Z didn't have us on tour like he did, or I eat my own halal. I eat my own halal too. If you want to say that, to Memphis Bleek, I just came off my last tour. All I'm saying is when you see Jay-Z in setting, he never really, when he's doing a Beyonce show or whatever, you don't see Memphis Bleek on the stage or him being brought out. You know, even if I'm doing the hype man shit with 50, he's bringing me out. I'm making money. I'm going to.
That's that man girl too. That's it. That's Hov's wife tour.
Yeah, that's Hov wife tour.
So I believe if Hov was out on his own, he would bring Bleek out. There is no need for him to bring Bleek in a situation where it looked like if this was last tour you're talking about with the Cowboy Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, because I look at Bleek as a loyal guy, like I'm a loyal guy to Jay. But I look at like Fifth, my guy Hervé, one day we had TRL, and it's the Young Gunners there.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him out, and Hervé says loud, "You don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like 50 does." And Hervé, I think he worked with them too. But he said that to me, and that always stuck in my head. Rest in peace to him.
Jim Jones abruptly lost his temper and attacked Tony Yayo on Memphis Bleek's own podcast. Even stranger is the fact that Bleek doesn't even rock with Yayo in that way. What is actually happening here then? What caused Jim Jones to lose it so badly? And why does Memphis Bleek have an issue with Tony Yayo? This one warms up quickly, so stay still. First, let's talk about Bleek. It's easy to acquire his part. From the beginning, Memphis Bleek and Jay-Z have been close, much like his right-hand younger brother. However, Tony Yayo has been making subtle jabs at Jay for years. According to Yo-Yo's official statement, Hov even attempted to prevent 50 Cent from appearing during the Super Bowl halftime show. And it's obvious he hasn't let go of that. Yayo didn't hold back at all when he sat down with Shannon Sharpe. He branded Jay-Z a hater outright, claiming that he never aids in anyone's victory and that he doesn't put on for his people.
The difference between me and other niggas, right? Stack Bundles, one of my favorite rappers in the world.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Right?
Squad. Rest in peace.
Far Rock.
Yep.
You understand? Jim Jones, he had Stack Bundles, he had Max B. I looked at it like, wait, you know. Stack Bundles, we had a Porsche and was still in the hood. No disrespect to Jim Jones. Fifth had me in Battery Park. I could walk out that barefoot.
Get the
See,
socks.
that's when a nigga love you, nigga. Get the socks, nigga. Sneakers Dior, nigga. But I'm walking out there barefoot. That's when you know a nigga love you, boy. Cause he making sure you don't get your shit split. Cause you go back to 134, anywhere, Baisley, right, Brooklyn, shit get split. Once I got shit, nigga shot my shit up. Bentleys and all that. Y'all can get that sneaker, just toss that over there. My shit's official. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look, but nigga put me in position. Rest in peace of Stack, but Stack got killed in the project with a Porsche.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on, nigga, I'm from the hood, nigga. Y'all niggas thought, nigga. I done been around the Black Justice and seen the Preems and all that, nigga. The E-Money bags, all that, nigga. The younger niggas under that.
So with everything you
Maserati Fox. Real nigga, huh?
So with everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
But what would you change?
Change what?
Pass the cup.
I heard you talk about all the shit you went through, all the shit niggas is still going through.
What
Yeah,
God,
one of them cups
listen,
just for
what
the
God
ass
got planned for you is planned for you, brother. God already know what's planned for you in life.
God planned for you to come here and spaz on y'all niggas tonight.
I spaz?
I'm just saying it was a plan.
I mean, I do be on some Hollywood shit. Europe. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Something like yo, stop talking about Europe. I don't like when you come here. You gotta deal with
Don't treat
niggas.
Vlad like that, bro. See how niggas is? See how
No, I
niggas
ain't
is,
nothing to do with
bro?
Vlad.
He ain't treat Vlad
do with
like
Europe.
this. He
I
ain't
do
treat Vlad
things
like
you have to
this,
do with
my
Europe.
nigga.
He also made fun of Bleek by remarking, "Look at Memphis Bleek. He's not winning, he's not shining. He is not as well cared for by Jay-Z as I am by 50. Just like that. The entire incident was ignited by that comment. Man, it's crazy to argue about who has a better sugar daddy. The genuine ones don't move like that. Your family cannot be fed by someone else's food, because your people will starve if he quits serving. So all of this discussion about how 50 looks after me more, or how Jay looks after me more, is insane. Real guys take care of their own affairs. Salute your comrade if they assist you, but don't brag about it. Strange flex. Do you sense me? Jay-Z was portrayed by Yayo as being self-centered, never lending a helping hand to others, and always looking out for himself. However, it seemed like a crazy flex about who is getting cared for the way it came out. It's a peculiar slope to die on. Thus, when Memphis Bleek arrived to have a drink.
The problem is, when she was on the show, she had said that she had heard about you wasn't giving Stack money, but people don't know that when Stack asked you for the bread, you were going to the bank. I think the bank was closed. Something happened because me and Bino talked about it. I remember being there, and you was going to give him
more money after the money he spent because we was on tour. He like, geez, I spent all that tour money, geez, on Pop, I bug it. Whatever he did, brought another Porsche, BMW. He like, yo, Pop, geez, you said closed mouth don't get fed, geez, I'm Pop, geez, I'm hurting.
It's a fact.
And when I told him, I said, yo, go get 25 grand from the bank tomorrow. He like, oh, yo, what's up with that Wrangler truck? I'm like, I left that shit in Brooklyn. I don't even want that shit. I don't even know what block it's on. Matter of fact, it's by the car shop where I got the Maserati from. He like, you let me get that, geez. I'm like, go take it. You probably got to get a new key. He like, oh, I'm going to go get that tomorrow, geez. You different, geez. And we all know the rest of the story.
Why do you think that people have this misconception of what happened? Why do you think even her? Why do you think that? Where did that come from?
Nobody likes to hear the truth.
Because we were there. Bino get mad all the time, and he gets offended. And he was one of the people that called me. He was like, "That's not true." They think that what they think is that Stack asked you. He told you he wanted to leave. They said that Stack told you he wanted to leave. He wanted to move, and you didn't move him out. But that's not true.
You want to hear? You want to hear that story? All right. For Stacks and them, I was about to buy Stacks, the kid Max and Melly, a whole brownstone in New Jersey. None of them wanted to leave the hood. And I was not about to waste my money. And that was what I offered them. I went shopping for the shit and all that type of shit.
Yeah, we remember that, right, Bass? We remember that. Shout out to Bass. I remember the conversation.
I mean? And I'm like, yo, you bugging. You want to, like, yo, you could go to the hood every day, but you're going to be living in Jersey. Like, you're going to be living better than, like, you heard? And you don't have to worry about paying for no rent or nothing like that. I'm just trying to get you niggas out the hood. Melly, too. Melly ended up getting shot, right? Like none of these would listen, and everything that happened that you know can happen in the hood end up happening and shit like that. You know what I mean? But everything to try to protect them for what I know could have happened to them, I tried. You heard? From getting all of his cars to getting all these everything you can imagine, everything. Private jets, Miami, hundreds of thousands in one weekend, 2 tour buses, Atlanta, like. Cannot front on how I had my boys moving. And I'm only talking about this because you was there, and you and Stacks were best friends with Bino, couple others and shit like that. Other than I don't even talk to people about Stacks and what went on, but we was sending out. This was not on our level when we was moving, and no way.
He couldn't just ignore that, I guess. He had to address it and make things clear. Bleck claims that he and Yayo never really had a major disagreement. They have previously met, shared lodgings, and possibly even collaborated on a project together. However, following Yo-Yo's outrageous remarks, the atmosphere undoubtedly shifted. Now, there is tension rather than a full-scale conflict. Bleek is obviously holding something back, though. It is evident on his face, even though he hasn't said it aloud yet. In essence, Memphis Bleek stated, "Dude, forget about Tony Yayo right away." This is where it becomes complicated, though. Tony Yayo has always been the one to criticize others for failing to take care of their employees. This new and violent feud with Jim Jones was started by the same force. If you recall the G-Unit versus Dipset era, which included Jim Jones, 50 Cent, and Cameron, it was absolutely insane. Everyone believed the mayhem was finished, but it wasn't. As it happens, the smoke never truly went away. Jim Jones and Tony Yayo have resumed their feud over the past few years, and this time it's personal. Math Hoff revealed a surprise while Yayo appeared on his program. He asserted that Jim Jones died by leaving stacked bundles in the hood.
Well, a lot of, me from the hood, so people
That's right.
look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing. They always look at Jay like, oh,
Yeah.
But nah,
That's why.
Bleak
That's
out
why you
here
got
make-
niggas like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Yo smoke hard coke,
Yo, chill. Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo.
You do need
You
that
might
help.
need
That's
2
why-
ounces, nigga.
That's why
Paid
you
in full
looking to
movie,
see.
nigga. I got a G for every bump in your face, nigga. I promise you that, nigga.
That's
I
a
promise
fact.
you that, nigga.
That's why he worried about
Peon, you broke, nigga. You know
See?
I got it, nigga. What's
Don't-
up? The
ain't
bag
nobody-
is up. The bolsa.
Hey, yo.
Hey, Flea, where the bolsa at, Flea?
Let me finish that off. Ain't nobody taking care of over here, B. Yo, nah, you good, my nigga. I fucking love it. They deserve it. They need to hear this shit, man, because they bugging out here. All these niggas worrying about who taking care of who. We take care of we. Ain't no
100%,
who
nigga.
take care of who, nigga. You know who doing it. We live.
Us,
We getting
the
money.
gangway, nigga. We take
You
care
feel
of
me?
everybody, nigga. We take care of each other, nigga.
That's a
heard?
fact, my G. But linking back up with you, Jim, we missed out on a
Nah,
lot
this
of
is dope.
opportunity, bro. But we ain't gonna miss it out going forward.
Nah,
we need to
man.
put some pain together,
Time
bro.
don't lie.
Yao claims that Jim neglected to look after Stack, and what happened to him was partly caused by that carelessness. That is a serious charge. Let's quickly catch up if you are unaware of Stack Bundle's identity. Jim Jones, a friend of Stack's from day one, signed him. Jim gave him the platform, showed him the ropes, and took him on a tour. However, rumors that Jim didn't do enough for Stack, and that's why things ended the way they did, have been around for years. Hip-hop is still affected by the pain of Stack Bundle's death in the neighborhood. He didn't escape. And things become complex at that point. You see, I've always assumed the best about Jim Jones since no one is truly sure what transpired between them. There are times when your buddies simply won't listen. People have told me they want to grind, regardless of how hard you try to help. They still don't move even after I give them the entire layout and even offer to purchase a setup. When you want someone to succeed more than they do for themselves, it can be difficult. With Jim Jones and Stack Bundles, it began to sound just like that. Jim was accused of ruining the atmosphere of the Stack. He moved, spoke, and dressed as though he had stolen the plan and fled with it. To be honest, Stack Bundles was that individual. He would most likely be sitting next to a $1 AP Rocky in the front row at Paris Fashion. Weak right now if his life hadn't been cut short. He carried that type of impact. However, it became even more complicated when detractors said that Jim Jones had stolen the show and abandoned Stack. However, Jim has consistently maintained his position, claiming that's not how things happened. He claimed to have done everything in his power to assist Stack in leaving the house. Opportunities, tours, money, and performances. Jim claimed that the most painful thing was that Stack simply refused to leave the streets. Jim claims that he never left Stack behind. He simply could not make him leave that life. Jim stands by that story, whether you believe him or not. He became quite upset throughout that interview and snapped at anyone who mentioned Stack's name, as if he had had enough of remaining silent about it. Tony Yayo hadn't even jumped in yet at that point. However, it's clear why Jim was already agitated. To him, Stack was more than just a personal artist. One thing is certain though, Jim takes anything related to Stack very personally. I can't say what is 100% true regarding the $25,000, the transactions, or the so-called GWA conversation. Jim therefore interpreted Tony Yayo's decision to speak about it as an act of outright contempt. Jim became irate when Memphis Bleek's and Yayo's names were mentioned when they were seated together. Jim unloaded despite Bleek's best efforts to maintain composure. He stated unequivocally that he is not famished. His folks are not going hungry. Additionally, there is the back and forth regarding who has a better sugar daddy. Absurd. Subsequently, Jim began to brag about his wealth, automobiles, and lifestyle, drawing comparisons to Tony Yayo's circumstances. Here's the twist though. Yayo wasn't even attempting to say that. Jim was never labeled broke by Tony, not once. Indeed, he stated quite exactly, Jim is good. His main argument was that Jim's crew doesn't appear to be doing well. They don't appear to be up. They don't appear to be on. And to be honest, it might have struck much more forcefully if Jim had concentrated on that rather than ranting about money. Additionally, it is possible that this entire situation would not have escalated as it did. Jim, however, wasn't interested in listening to any of that. He had gone into full defensive mode. His face was etched with pride. It was visible to you. As soon as Yo's name was mentioned, that switch was flipped. Jim didn't play about his name or his team, and he thought Yaya was attempting to make fun of him in public. He began to yell, "Isn't anyone feeding me? I started from scratch when building this." He stated unequivocally that he does not live off of anyone else's plate. Not anyone's, not even Jay-Z's or the 50s. However, rather than dismissing it, this is where things became tense. Jim stepped up. He flipped it around, accusing Yayo of constantly hiding behind his boss's shadow and criticizing him for being overly devoted to 50. The entire atmosphere in the room altered at that point. It changed from being a straightforward conversation to outright heat. Bleak made an effort to defuse the situation, but Jim had already left. Emotions quickly took over. It was clear that Yayo was no longer the only focus of this. This was about history, pride, and everything else that was never discussed. It was all of the things that had been accumulating for years. The shadow, the comparisons, and the "you don't care about your people" remarks. Everything boiled over. Jim had had enough, and he made it clear to the world at that very time that he was not going to back down from anyone. Not from anybody, not even Tony. He continued to brag about how wealthy he was and how well his crew was eating.